Most real estate agents don't struggle with new construction because it's complicated. They struggle because no one ever actually taught them how the process works. So if you've ever walked into a builder model home and felt like you didn't know what to say, you're not alone. And it's not because you're not a good agent. It's because this is a completely different process that most agents were never taught. But don't worry, that's actually what I'm here for. If we haven't met yet, I'm Nicole D. I've been in new construction for over 20 years as a builder sales rep. So if anyone understands the ins and outs of this process, it's me. I help real estate agents understand how new construction actually works, so you can guide your buyers with confidence, protect your deals, and stop feeling like you're figuring it out as you go. So if that's something you've been wanting to get better at, go ahead and subscribe. You're in the right place. Because what usually happens looks something like this. You have a buyer who's interested in new construction. You walk into the model home, and within a few minutes, the builder rep is asking questions, explaining options, walking through the process, and you're kind of standing there thinking, okay, do I jump in? Do I let them take the lead? What's my role here? So you step back a little. And before you know it, the builder sales rep is leading the entire conversation, and your buyer is looking to them for answers instead of you. Or maybe you get a client under contract, and now things start happening. The design center appointments, construction updates, walkthroughs, and you're trying to keep up in real time instead of actually guiding the process. And it's not that you don't care, and it's not that you're not a good agent. You were just never shown how this side of real estate actually works. And if you've ever felt this way, you're exactly who I made this for. But here's the part most agents don't realize. New construction isn't harder than resale. It's just structured differently. In resale, you're reacting to what already exists. In new construction, you might end up guiding your buyer through something that hasn't even happened yet. There are more steps, more decisions, and a longer timeline. But it's actually very predictable once you understand the process. And that's where most agents get stuck. Because without a clear understanding of what happens from start to finish, every step feels uncertain. And when you feel uncertain, you hesitate. You step back and you end up letting someone else take the lead, AKA the sales rep. But when you understand the process, that's when everything changes. So let's break this down, because there are a few specific scenarios I see over and over again. The first and biggest scenario is that most agents don't have a clear process to follow. In resale, you can kind of rely on experience, your broker, or just doing more deals over time. But in new construction, if you don't understand the full process from start to finish, you're constantly guessing what comes next. What happens after the contract, what should your buyer expect during construction, what's your role at each phase, and when you don't have these answers, you're not leading the process, you're reacting to it. The second scenario is the dynamic between agents and builder reps. Builder reps do this every day. They know the process, the product, the pricing, the timeline, and everything in between. So when an agent walks in unsure, the builder rep naturally steps in and takes control of the conversation. And that's not a bad thing. It's just what happens when the sales rep has clarity and the agent doesn't. And I'm not saying don't use your sales rep, because that's what we're here for. But what that does is provide reassurance to the buyer. Here's the problem. Your buyer starts to see them as the expert. And when that happens, you lose positioning. The real reason is that builder contracts are completely different from resale. There is no option period, timelines are different, earnest money is handled differently. And this is something I break down step by step in my Navigating New Construction course. We'll get to that later. If you don't fully understand these differences, you can't confidently explain them to your buyer, which means your buyer is either confused or relying on someone else to explain it. And this is where mistakes get expensive. So it's important to understand builder contracts aren't harder, they're just different. The fourth scenario is the design center, and this is where a lot of agents completely check out. Your buyer is making thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in decisions. What upgrades are worth it? What will actually appraise? What should they skip? And if you don't know how to guide those decisions, you lose trust in one of the most important parts of the process. The last scenario is that most agents try to learn new construction while they're already in a deal. They get a buyer under contract, and then they start Googling, asking questions, trying to figure out things in real time. And by then, it's reactive instead of intentional. And that's where confidence breaks down. And here's the good news. The agents who are successful in new construction aren't doing anything crazy or complicated. They just understand the process. They're asking the builder rep the right questions up front. They're setting expectations with the buyer before the design center. They're explaining timelines, contracts, and next steps before it becomes confusing. And because of that, the buyers trust them more. The process feels smoother, and they close more deals without feeling overwhelmed. They don't know everything, they just have a system. And if you're listening to this thinking, okay, I don't want to keep guessing, I want to actually understand the process, that's exactly why I built my community. Because most agents aren't missing opportunity, they're missing clarity and direction. Inside, you'll have access to my Navigating New Construction course, where I walk you through the entire process step by step so you know what to expect, what to say, and how to guide your buyers from start to finish. You'll also get access to additional resources and ongoing support from me, because the goal isn't just to sell new construction, it's to feel confident doing it and actually build a business around it. If you're ready to stop guessing and actually understand how this process works, everything you need is linked in the description below. That includes my community, the full course, and additional resources to help you get started. And if this helped you, make sure you're subscribed. I'll be sharing everything agents need to know to be successful in new construction. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.